So Carmelo Anthony, guys, he's the Portland Trailblazers. They did it. A team did it. They signed Melo. He's not being blackballed anymore, which is what a lot of people say. Melo's finally back in the league. Had his first game on the Blazers. Didn't have his best game. What, do you have 10 points?
14, 5 turnovers.
Yeah, but I guess the question lies, will Melo help the Blazers make the playoffs, Tony? Because so far the Blazers have not been looking good, and they're not a playoff team as of right now.
Sorry, Melo fans. Don't think it's gonna happen. Blazers did make the right move by getting Carmelo because they were in a spot with a lot of injuries and they were in like a downward spiral. So I do think it like made sense. Like, hey, like let's just bring in Melo. I don't hate him for doing it. I just wouldn't do it personally. Over the last 500 minutes, playoffs included, Melo's teams are negative 13 per 48 minutes when he's on the floor. Yes. His turnover percentage is pretty bad. He doesn't pass the ball. He's not going to record assists. He didn't last night. I guess he's a willing rebounder, but I mean, I don't think his shot has gone. I know a lot of like the pre-workout, like the workout videos, and like, wow, like Melo's jump shot, like he looks so sharp, like he's making every single shot. But it should be definitely noted that these are open shots. Nobody's guarding him, and like even if he's playing like pickup at Lifetime and like making these shots, like Lifetime isn't the NBA, and his game is really slow. And once you get inside like a live game, like it's really fast paced, and he can't fit the pace of play, and he can't defend that pace of play either. I just feel like he's slow, and if you get someone tall enough to be able to like contest his jump shots, it makes it a lot more difficult on him. He's gonna hit open threes, but I don't feel like his impact is gonna be.
So to clarify, you think it was the right move to bring him in, but you don't think it'll help them make a playoff?
I think it was the right move because they had no other options, but I don't think it's gonna like this is a make or break thing that's putting him in the playoffs. I think more of an impact will be seen when Nurkic comes back and Whiteside is putting up less minutes, but I don't think this Melo thing is going to be like, oh, saves the Blazers.
Okay.
Nurkic said he wasn't going to come back this season.
Oh, then never mind. Yeah. Blazers not making playoffs then.
Well, so the question poses, will Melo help the Blazers make the playoffs? So I think he will help them as a team. Do they make the playoffs? I think they're battling for that 8, kind of 7 spot, but I think he will help them have a chance, more of a chance than they do now.
I'm really disappointed in the Blazers.
Yeah. I mean, I said they were going to fall off when we gave kind of when we gave our Western Conference standings from 3. I said they'll fall. I think I put them at 7, but I didn't anticipate them doing this
right
bad.
Now. They're like the Rockets last year.
I mean, I didn't anticipate them doing this bad, but I definitely thought they would drop off. But yeah, so to answer the question directly, yes, I do think Melo will help. It is, guys, at this point, it is fair to criticize his defense. He's arguably one of the worst. I think he is one of the worst defenders in the league. It's not even arguable. But at the point where they signed him, the Blazers were 5-9. Dame clearly needs help offensively. I understand that a major point people are going to look at is, hey, they don't play defense, so how is Melo going to help? But just because, you know what's a great method for defense? Play more offense, because then the other team's catching up. If you make shots, the other team can't get fast breaks. If you make shots, the other teams can't get fast break buckets on you. That's just a fact, unless you just don't get back, which you will. So if you're making more shots, you're scoring more points. In turn, they're going to score. They can score too, but you're making buckets where they're not getting those easy transition layups off of your misses. So that's a point right there. And the Blazers have not had a competent power forward all year. Who on the Blazers at power forward or that spot is better than Melo, guys? Exactly.
They lost a bunch of role players too. Exactly. It should be noted, like Layman and a lot of other guys they didn't sign back. And
they don't have a
dealing
really
with
forwards. So I think Melo was a good pickup. Melo is still a good offensive player to this day. People don't realize he averaged 16 on OKC just 2 years ago. I think the Blazers could use that 16 points to go along with Dame and go along with CJ's buckets. This team was going nowhere this year, I feel like. And I think adding Melo can only help the cause.
I mean, you can't say they weren't going nowhere. I mean, last year they made the Western Conference Finals, added Hassan Whiteside.
But why did they add Hassan Whiteside?
I mean, they needed a good bit. I mean, Nurkic is
injured. Cantor left.
I guess Nurkic is injured, yeah, I guess.
I mean, but my big thing is that, I mean, you kind of said this, but The problem isn't scoring. They have CJ and Dame. Their problem is
So
defense.
two offensive players is gonna score all the points.
I mean, I don't think Melo helps that though.
You don't think he helps score points?
I mean, he's an ISO type of player. He's not getting everybody else involved.
I agree.
When he was at his peak, he was like an all around like he could score anyway, but he like if you want somebody to be like a third option or like sign somebody who's old, I think it would be preferable if he's like a specialty. He can shoot or he can post really well, do something.
That's a good point.
One thing really well.
That's a good point.
But and if looking at the other free agents, I think there are some better options out there. If you want a power forward, you can get Kenneth Faried is still out there. If you want to score, get Jamal Crawford.
But I mean,
J.R. Smith, maybe.
you have two guards. You don't really need another guard.
I think Kenneth Faried played really well last year. I don't know why he isn't in the league right now, but I mean, the thing that's helping Carmelo is that NBA players apparently love him and they want to play. If it wasn't for that, he would not be in the league.
That's
because
because they realize how good he is. Like they realize how hard it is to score the way he scores, and they're just kind of looking at it like, how is this guy who can get buckets not playing in the league and seemingly being blackballed out the league? But I think you make fair points. The Blazers definitely are not great defensively. Melo won't really help that. I just think his help offensively will kind of overcompensate for that lack of defense that they already seem to have.
I would be a big fan if he came off the bench. He shouldn't be starting.
I mean, they didn't have. Yeah,
I mean,
they didn't have.
If you saw his like post game interview, his mentality, it looks like his mentality really hasn't changed. Like he still wants to be the man. And I mean, if he was like a 6 or 7 man that like came off the bench for like 15 minutes and like put up some buckets, I would definitely like be looking at that whole situation way more favorable.